is it time to move on from Luke Skywalker?
Yeah, go ahead, Pete. Sink into this.
Okay, so Dave was just saying that we want to keep those characters around, and I agree. What I think it's time to move away from is CG versions of these guys. If we're going to do a live action Luke show up, then recast him. We saw Bail Organa work as a recast. Nobody mentioned that Brea Organa was recast in the Kenobi show. There's enough good actors out there who can channel the character of Luke Skywalker, and it's always going to live with the actor, and the actor's going to have that sort of first impression. That's, I think, part of the challenge with Solo. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. We're not going to get as mad about it, but I think Alden Ehrenreich did his best not to do a Harrison Ford impression, but he tried to channel the essence of Solo. So I think I don't want to move away from these characters, but I don't want to see any more CG characters. Just get somebody else to play them.
What are your thoughts, David?
As I mentioned at the end of the last segment, I feel like I would say this, that I do not want to see them recast in this time frame, like where we're at in real time right now. I don't think that the fandom is ready for the recasting. This comment by Mark Hamill stirred up so much silliness in the Star Wars fandom, which that's not unusual. But let Lucasfilm open up, get to a Charles Soule, get to an Adam Christopher again, get to a Claudia Gray, get to some of these people and let them start telling stories in this era, and then do for the original trilogy what the Clone Wars TV series did for the prequels, and that is write an entire new arc and a new story and change the way we view everything that happens in the original trilogy through an animated series. You could also bring in characters like Omega. Did I say Omega? I meant Omega.
It's the only way to say it.
Bring in Omega from it, and that ties to the Bad Batch to bring in animated people. You could bring in a Hera again. You can bring in a Zeb. Some of these Mandoverse live action characters revisiting in this. I think that's the model for keeping these characters alive for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
What about you, Nick?
I think that, and I've said this many, many times, and I got really excited when David started talking about it, because he's about to say the thing that I keep saying. I want some of the original trilogy stories animated in the style of the Clone Wars. So I want animated Han, Luke, Leia adventures in the style of the Clone Wars. I think that would be phenomenal. Bring in these amazing voice actors, Shelby Young, all these other folks who have done all these roles for so long. So I think that would be great. Here's what I'll say about Luke Skywalker and what Mark Hamill said. Mark Hamill is a very smart guy, and I love that every time I'm, randomly scrolling TikTok or Instagram and I see a clip of him on Colbert or on somewhere else having a conversation, I'm just reminded of what a great guy he is, how funny he is, how smart he is. I think he recognizes, he doesn't want to be Willie Mays out in the outfield running around in a circle, not able to catch the ball.
Yeah.
But I also think he has the stature, and he should get the opportunity to let somebody bring him in. Let Dave bring him in and go, is there anything you'd like to do or help with? Give him that kind of elder statesman role to be able to, he's always going to be an ambassador for Star Wars, but he might want to get creative behind the scenes in helping produce an animated something. Give him the opportunity to be involved in some other way, maybe as a way just to stay connected without it having to be about Luke Skywalker. That's what I'd love to see with Mark Hamill in particular.
Love that.
And one of the things I'm happy about, I know it's sort of unrelated, but I'll just throw it out there, is it took Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford a while to embrace that they were who they were. Carrie Fisher always had it, but I'm glad to see that Daisy Ridley is I'm going to be Rey, and if you want to make a good Rey movie, I'll come back and do it sooner than later. I don't want to see her when she's going to break a hip trying to run through the forest.
I think that's what John Boyega is struggling with still.
Yes.